I'm actually getting teared up. It is one of the saddest endings. Oh my god, I'm actually crying. It is one of the saddest endings you will ever see for a video game. If you have ever been touched by grief, it is a lot to watch. Hello everybody, welcome back. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Ria. I typically post here weekly, with the exception of this week because I wanted to spend time actually properly finishing this game that I'm about to talk about. So this video is a little bit late. However, I wanted to give it the time and attention and respect it deserves. And I am of course talking about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Last couple of weeks, all I've been posting about is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It is an incredible game. I don't really have any problems with the game. There are a few things, but the review is in and I am so happy that I finished this game. For those of you who are not aware of what Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is all about, if you're wanting to play it, I'm gonna warn you, big warning here, there's spoilers. I'm just gonna straight up say there are spoilers. I actually had a really hard time filming this while I was playing it because I wanted to just experience it. Everything I've read, I've obviously tried to like stay away from spoilery things, and I will say one of the best communities I've sort of lurked in would be our Expedition 33 on Reddit. People are very good about not spoiling it for other people. If you want to kind of understand the game without having it be too spoilery, e.g. going and reading articles that talk about the game and whatnot, or watching videos like this, because like I said, I'm probably gonna end up spoiling it because I need to talk about it. I was just sort of passively enjoying the content that people were putting on our Expedition 33, and that did help to push me through and have the game completed. I will say that I spent about 50 hours completing the game. I was working on quite a few projects. For those of you who don't know, this is only like a side thing. This is a hobby that I do right now on posting videos to YouTube and playing video games. I actually have a full-time job and I run my own business. It was really hard to find the time to just like finish it. I know a lot of my friends, my husband as well, actually finished it fairly quickly. I think probably only spent about 3 weeks playing it in bits and pieces. It took me about 5 weeks to finish, just because I was playing it late at night. On the weekends, when I had a little bit of downtime, that was the first thing I would go do, was start to play. If you're not aware of what the game is about, just a quick synopsis. You meet a bunch of folks who are preparing for their Gommage, which essentially means scrub, when they turn a certain age, as noted by a monolith that sits across from where they live. In this, I want to call it an island called Lumière, they disappear. And so you start off by meeting Gustave, who is a sort of scientist, and Maëlle, who is a ward of Gustave's, and Gustave is in the process of saying goodbye to Sophie, who is his ex-girlfriend, and it sounds like they broke up because of some disagreements around whether to have children. Regardless, Sophie ends up gommaging not even the first like bit of the very first bit of the game. You follow Gustave and Maëlle. Maëlle's only 16 years old, by the way. She still has a lot of time left according to Gustave, but she wants to come on Expedition 33, and so Gustave, who is her guardian, allows her to come with them, which ends up being a very important plot point. It turns out that the whole thing was an absolute red herring. Gustave was essentially our false protagonist, and by Act 1 you figure out that Maëlle, this game really has something to do with Maëlle. The way it slaps you in the face, like you just turn around, it's like a big 180 and you get smacked in the face with the truth, is amazing. Couple of things that I have to highlight is the writing. What is so beautiful about how this game was written, and I'm not talking about like the code and like the development, I'm actually talking about the story. When I was looking up how they came up with the idea of Expedition 33 and how initially the final product that you're playing through now was brought to life, it was actually not a completely different game, but a somewhat different game from what they had initially pitched. And when they started to bring on investors, the investors were like, hey, you need to like think bigger. And it turned out that They continued to workshop the game, and I believe one of the lead developers of the game, I think, ended up making another treatment, another story. My point is, this is the kind of writing, this sort of storytelling is the kind of storytelling that would do well as a book, as obviously a video game like you would have played, as a graphic novel, as a freaking television show. I would watch the heck out of this. I would watch the television show, I would watch the film. Now, my understanding is that there is going to be a film, a live action film that is coming out that is completely based on Expedition 33. I don't know any more details than what they've put out now. I've been like searching the corners of the internet trying to figure out when it's going to happen, where it is at. I think this would own The Last of Us, quite frankly. But my point is, the writing is so universal and the plot is so simple but complex. It just, not only is the writing so beautifully done, it's also such an homage to like French cinema and sort of the French drama, French theatrics. Just, you think you know what's going on, but you don't. I think that's what makes this game so timeless, is that when we're able to find ourselves in the story, that's what really makes the game resonate with so many people, and I think that's why it's getting so picked up right now. Second of all, it looks amazing in Unreal Engine, and I mean, we've seen this with so many other video games. I have a ton of video game reviews that you can take a look at. Unreal Engine just makes everything look so fantastic. So I'm really glad that they went ahead and that they developed this in Unreal Engine. How could you not, right? Taking advantage of the intricacies of the art and how well that comes out in Unreal Engine. It's just, how could you not, right? My favorite thing, of course, are the damn Easter eggs. There are so many amazing Easter eggs. I'll try my best not to spoil a bunch, but some of my favorites are, you have to go with Minoko on this one. And the story of Minoko. Minoko is one of the characters that you can put into your party, but what's really cool about Minoko is that he is based on the studio dogs. You can see the behavior as he's like talking and interacting, especially with Verso. You can just see, it's like, oh my gosh, he's a dog. One of the other things that I didn't get to do, because I just wanted to finish the game and I wanted to experience it from the story perspective, from the writing perspective. Apparently, if you dress your whole party up in certain kinds of costumes, at the very end, at the final battle, Renoir will mirror that. I died when I saw clips from the baguette sort of staging and then the swimsuit staging. Those absolutely killed me. I need to sit with the game for a bit because I just finished it one night ago, and I just need to sit with the game and see if I want to go back and New Game Plus it. I played on PC. Kind of personally want to leave it as it is, but it's just the Easter eggs in this game. You know, the "this is fine" meme shows up. There are just so many great little nods to different pop culture things and French things and whatever. It's just so well done, and I think that comes back to the whole point about the writing. I do have a few bones to pick with this game. I am that person who really enjoys putting their characters in wardrobe. For me, costuming is just so much fun. I love fashion. Like, outside of this life, I absolutely love fashion. I think dressing up is a lot of fun, and it's a great way to show your personality. I didn't like that you couldn't rotate the characters to see what the whole costume looked like, so I wasn't a fan of that. I also didn't like the Lumina, the Picto/Lumina menu. So in the sort of back end, you can essentially stack all these different characteristics for your players to make them even more powerful. And the way you do that is by picking up Pictos. So it's just essentially another skill that you'd learn in the back end to buff or like boost your character. And that menu was really annoying to navigate. I did not enjoy it. Now, whether that is a limitation of the game, the way they've set it up, the way it was developed, I don't know, but it was definitely a challenge to navigate that menu, and I kind of wish that they had done a better job. I struggled with the parrying button. Now, I did a really good job parrying, and over time, a lot of it is just picking up on patterns. So one of the mechanics of the game is you want to make sure that you're parrying versus just dodging or perfect dodging to not only not be attacked by any enemies that you're fighting, but also just to build up AP so that you can counterattack. Or you can also do a counter if you do like perfect parries. The choice of button, and maybe this is just a controller thing for me, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that because sometimes you'd think you'd have the timing down right and then it would just like miss it by that much. And I wanted to actually change the buttons, but then I realized it wouldn't work. Turn-based games like this, it's usually A, B, X, Y are for very specific purposes. I did try and see if I could change the controls on my end, on my computer, or our computer. Unfortunately, I could not. Even that's me trying to be so picky with the game. And even then, there's just nothing, this game is so perfect. Like, I hate to say this, but this game has actually, like, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit, but Kingdom Hearts is my favorite game of all time. Of all time. Just as a whole. The playability of it, the way it looks, the music is always such a huge thing for me. I always get so emotional when I hear orchestral versions of Simple and Clean. Or Hikari. But this game is actually #1 on my list right now. This is my #1 game. This is not game of the year. This is game of all time. Game of all time. And I will be so angry. I will be so mad if they do not take all of the awards home to see what they've created and what they've done. And it actually makes me emotional now thinking about it. And I did not cry at the end of the game. I did not cry at the end of the game. I was so close. Spoilers, there are 2 endings. I don't want to say bad ending and good ending because a lot of this game deals with morality. And I could not, in good faith, in good conscience, there were 2 options. Big spoilers here. Your first option was to pick to fight as Verso. So you could essentially, you find out that Verso is dead. This whole time, the only thing that's left of Verso is his soul. Little bits of his soul that are in this canvas that belongs to him. He cannot fully be let go because his soul is stuck in the canvas. And he's just been painting this whole time. He's been in charge of painting everything, but he had died saving Mael, which makes it even more heartbreaking, the second option. The second option is you find out Mael, who had been saved by Verso after a fire, Verso died saving her, is really a young woman named Alicia who, yes, was saved, but had burns to her face, lost an eye, and is mute. And Mael/Alicia argues that the only way for her to live her life is through Verso's canvas because everything's been created, right? And you're thinking, well, why can't we just all leave Verso's canvas and Mael/Alicia starts a new canvas or like starts a new life in a new canvas? Well, the whole point is she's experienced everything. That is her life. That experience is hers. If she gets if she gets out of Verso's canvas, it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be hidden away. I'm assuming it's going to be destroyed because if it's hidden away, I'm sure they'll find it again. And this is where the Paintress comes in. This woman who's been painting the numbers the whole time on the monolith, she suffered illness. She suffered sickness in the real world. And so Renoir, who is Alicia/Mael's father, is essentially looking out for her best interests, yes, but also trying to get the family to move away and just fully grieve. Start the full process of grieving. I could not, in good conscience, knowing what I knew about the 2 characters, Verso and Mael/Alicia, I could not, in good conscience, pick the Mael ending. I picked the Verso ending. And thinking about that now, how it ended, I'm actually getting teared up. It is one of the saddest endings. Oh my God, I'm actually crying. It is one of the saddest endings you will ever see for a video game. If you have ever been touched by grief, it is a lot to watch. And not only being upset, why am I actually crying? Oh my gosh. Not only knowing what it is like to watch people die or deteriorate. It was hard. It was hard to say goodbye. And grief is such a human emotion that we all at some point will encounter. And the game did such a good job of summarizing. I can't stop crying. Guys, what is wrong with me? Sorry. The game did such a good job of surmising the nuances and the complexities of dealing with grief. And if you've ever lost somebody close to you or have been in that place where, you know, you're about to lose somebody, or like it's just the last little bit of them. This game did a really good job of summarizing that, and just the complexities and the nuances of the human condition. So, okay, I didn't cry when it actually came up on screen, but obviously it's impacted me now. And just for that alone, that is why this game is game of the century. That's why it's the media of the century. That's why it's so powerful to be able to know and to resonate with that, and to find comfort in knowing that other people have felt grief in this way. So yeah, I could not in good conscience choose Mael's ending. I did watch Mael's ending, and it is so rightfully messed up, but I cannot go back and play it because this game has actually impacted me. So anyways, all that to say, please go play Expedition 33. It is an incredible game. It is so beautifully done. I could go on and about it for like an hour, and I still feel like it wouldn't do it justice, as opposed to you just experiencing it and playing it for yourself. I wanted to go back and play it again, but I don't know if I can, and I sort of feel at peace having played through it once. I hope they don't expand it. I hope they don't add new things to it. I implore you, you must go play it. Please, 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 please. This is a small, this is like an independent studio. They did such a good job. Just play it. Just play it. It is worth the time. It is worth the money. It's such an accessible price, depending, no matter which platform you play it on. It's out on pretty much every platform, I believe. So please give it a try and play it. I don't know what else to say. This is like game of the century. It's game of the year. It's game of the century. Please play it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go clean myself up because I cannot believe I started crying on camera. Thank you so much for watching. Please go play Expedition 33. Please, 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 please. You will not regret it. Bye.